There once was a little tiny spirit known as a Cheedly-Leedly-Leedly-Doo. I know it's tough to say, but only leprechauns really enjoyed the tales and the trials of the Cheedly-Leedly-Leedly-Doo. And this spirit wasn't awake, wasn't alive, wasn't anything until the lucky leprechauns found that at the bottom of all of their pots of gold, there were small beetles that were eating their coins and pooping them into little tiny nuggets. They weren't worth anything because leprechauns love coins. And so the spirit was given the job of protecting all the bottom pots of gold for the leprechauns. And they loved the spirit. And for a long time, the spirit was very happy just chasing the beetles out of the coin pots. Beetles would come down, digging with coins flying out behind their little carapace legs, and then the spirit would show up and go, "Beetle, Beetle, you must climb out and go away." And he would, I don't know why he has to speak like an old person, but he was in spirit. And he would gently flick the beetles with his force up onto the rainbow bridges, and they would happily go away. And the leprechauns were very happy about that. Something that is interesting is that one day, all of the rainbows in the sky started breaking, and no one knew why. And all the leprechauns were very unhappy about these rainbows breaking right out of the sky. They would be seen as quivering, and then they would just snap, and then little shards of light would tinkle through the sky as they crashed down. And the leprechauns were in mighty fright, running around going, "What can we do? What can we do? What has caused this?" And so, with their great cries, they summoned the Cheedly-Diddly-Doo, the spirit. And the spirit rose out of all of the pots of gold simultaneously across all of the world, hundreds and hundreds of pots. And the strange thing was, all the gold coins were sticking to the Cheedly-Doo, his spectral force. So it looked like a giant golem made of coins. And the golem stood wide and tall and said, "My time has come. I must summon forth all of these beetles, the rainbow breakers that I know have been breaking rainbows, for which we did not want your coins consumed by these beetles. And now they have been a plague upon the brilliance and the light and the land." And the great gold coin golem then stood up, or then sat down on his newly made throne made from the canopy of the forest. And he sat on top of the forest, and he thought there, and he said, as he boomed across the world, he said, who could join us and help us rid our lands of these beetles? And he sent out his call all across the world. And little did he know, and did the leprechauns know, that from the great cosmos, in the sky, you could see this object approaching, and the object looked like an inverted pyramid made of the blackest onyx. It absorbed all the light around it, and made these runes on the face of the pyramid as it flew into the world, and made these runes glow, and it made this low hum. And the pyramid came in upside down, and it spun around deliberately and then came to rest, while the golden coin golem was sitting on the top of the trees with his chin in his hand. And he said, "You are a strange receiver of our message. Have you come to help us rid the kingdom of these beetles that have been breaking our rainbows?" And then through a low reverberation, you could hear the object stop twirling and then say, "Yes, we have come for the beetles." And just like that, the object decided to rotate around back into the sky, and it emitted a low pitch hum where all the beetles came from where they were hiding under bushes, still looking for golden coins. Some of them were even carrying little pieces of the rainbow. And the ship landed, as it went across the sky, it landed on top of this small mountain, and it said, Yes, beetles, you can come to me. And it opened the lowest part of its upside down pyramid capsule, and little bridges sprung out from all sides. And the beetles, they came. You could see them. They were all chittering, coming to the mountainside, and they single filed went into this great ship. And the ship, after onboarding all of these beetles, decided that it would take all of the shards of the rainbows and all of the bits and bombs that the beetles had kind of taken from the land side, and it took off back into the cosmos, where it searched for a new place for the beetles to be. And as it turned out, they found on the moon the beetles would be happy being there in the moon. So this pyramid ship basically offloaded the beetles into this very low gravity. But the thing is that the beetles, as they swarmed outside of the ship, they carrying their little pieces of the rainbow, they reconstructed rainbows across the face of the moon. And it said very lovingly, "No leprechauns allowed here." And they dug themselves wonderful burrows, and the alien spacecraft decided to transform the moon into something that beetles could live on. And as luck would have it, the beetles started to plant seeds. They were industrious, and they started to terraform this moon. And strangely enough, they grew in size. They grew larger and larger and larger, to the size of elephants, trundling across a once dusty moon, now a wonderful mirage of rainbows and water and golden balls that they have rolled into places of worship. And yeah, that's the story. That is the story. That's the story. There may be another story later on of how the beetles come back to Earth. They might create a rainbow bridge between these paradises.